Myself Isha Goel. Today our topic is breathing and exchange of gases. As we all know, the process of exchange of O2 from the atmosphere with CO2 produced by the cells is known as breathing or respiration. Question 1. How earthworm, insects and frogs respire? Answer. Earthworm uses cuticle, insects have tracheal tubes, frogs through their skin. And the special vascularized bags, gills, are used by most of the aquatic arthropods and mollusks. Next question. Larynx is a cartilaginous box which help in the sound production. Next question. Trachea divides at the level of fifth thoracic vertebrae into left and right primary bronchi. Each bronchi undergo repeated divisions to form the secondary and tertiary bronchi and bronchioles ending up in very thin terminal bronchioles. Next question. Name the covering of the lungs. Double layered pleura membrane. Next question is about the conducting and the respiratory part. Question number 6. Lungs are located in the thoracic chamber. The thoracic chamber is formed dorsally by the vertebral column, ventrally by the sternum, laterally by the ribs, and on the lower side by the dome-shaped diaphragm. Next, when does the inspiration occurs? Inspiration occurs when the pressure within the lungs is less than the atmospheric pressure, and expiration occurs when the pressure within the lungs is more than the atmospheric pressure. Next question. At the time of inspiration, diaphragm contracts, which increases the volume of the thoracic chamber. Volume increases means pressure decreases. In expiration, diaphragm relaxes, and which decreases the volume of the thoracic chamber. Volume decreases, pressure increases in case of the expiration. And healthy human breathes about 12 to 16 times per minute. In next question, there are few terms such as tidal volume, volume of air inspired or expired during a normal respiration. It is approx 500 ml. That is, a healthy man can inspire or expire approximately 6000 to 8000 ml of air per minute. Next, IRV, inspiratory reserve volume. Additional volume of air a person can inspire by a forcible inspiration. This averages 2500 to 3000 ml. Next, expiratory reserve volume. Volume of air a person can expire by a forcible expiration. Next, residual volume. Volume of air remaining in the lungs even after a forcible expiration. In next question, inspiration capacity. Total volume of air a person can inspire after a normal expiration. Expiratory capacity. Total volume of air a person can expire after a normal inspiration. Functional residual capacity. Volume of air that will remain in the lungs after a normal expiration. Vital capacity. The maximum volume of air a person can breathe in after a forced expiration. Total lung capacity. Total volume of air accommodated in the lungs at the end of forced inspiration. Primary site of exchange of gases is alveoli. Next question. Solubility and the thickness of membrane. These are the factors that can affect the rate of diffusion. In next, as the solubility of the CO2 is 20 to 25 times higher than that of the O2, the amount of CO2 that can diffuse through the diffusion membrane per unit difference in partial pressure is much higher compared to that of O2. In next, 3 layers of diffusion membrane. Next, maximum O2 is transported by the RCBs, approx 97%. Next, maximum CO2 in the form of the bicarbonate, 70%. And the remaining 3% of O2 is carried in dissolved state through the plasma, and nearly 20 to 25% of CO2 is transported by the RBCs About 7% of the CO2 is carried in a dissolved state through plasma. In the transport of oxygen, when we plot the percentage saturation of hemoglobin with O2, we get the sigmoid curve or oxygen dissociation curve, and the factors which favor the formation of the oxyhemoglobin: high partial pressure of O2, low partial pressure of CO2, less hydrogen concentration, and low temperature. Every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver around 5 ml of O2 to the tissues. About 20 to 25% of the CO2 is carried out by the hemoglobin as carbaminohemoglobin. This binding is related to the partial pressure of CO2. Partial pressure of O2 is a major factor which could affect this binding. When partial pressure of CO2 is high and partial pressure of O2 is low, as in the tissues, more binding of the carbon dioxide occurs, whereas when the partial pressure of CO2 is low and partial pressure of O2 is high, as in the alveoli, dissociation of CO2 from carbaminohemoglobin takes place. That is, CO2 which is bound to hemoglobin from the tissues is delivered at the alveoli. Next, RBCs contain a very high concentration of the enzyme carbonic anhydrase, which converts CO2 plus H2O into carbonic acid. At the tissue site, where the partial pressure of CO2 is high due to catabolism, CO2 diffuses into the blood and forms bicarbonate ion and hydrogen. At the alveolar site, where partial pressure of CO2 is low, the reaction proceeds in the opposite direction, leading to the formation of CO2 and H2O. Thus, CO2 trapped as bicarbonate at the tissue level and transported to the alveoli is released out as CO2. Every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood delivers approx 4 ml of CO2 to the alveoli. In next, respiratory rhythm center is present in the medulla region of the brain, and pneumotoxic center is present in the pons region of the brain. Chemosensitive area is present adjacent to the rhythm center and is highly sensitive to CO2 and hydrogen ions. Next question: thus disorder in which major causes cigarette smoking? Emphysema. It is a chronic disorder in which alveolar walls are damaged, due to which respiratory surface is decreased. Thank you for listening.